Hey guys, welcome to my AP Lit video. Hey guys, quick heads up. This video is ultimately about computer science and programming, so if you want to really get into character, don't take a shower for about a week and then rewatch this video. Thanks. If you've ever been in the classroom that has a computer, there's really no way that you did all your work without using the internet in some way you weren't supposed to. There's a good chance you played some type of online browser game like Balloon Tower Defense, or Tetris, Cameron, or that one really obnoxious quiz with 10 different sequels. There's also a pretty good chance that you've come across the game Cookie Clicker, a game where you create a cookie monopoly and enslave grandmas and other ungodly beings to further your sadistic dream of manufacturing cookies and killing small businesses. For those who don't know what it is, the game is pretty simple. You click the cookie on the left side of your screen and then you buy upgrades that will click the cookie for you. That's literally it. It's absolutely mind-numbing. So for my project, I'm going to be doing what every programmer dreams of doing, and I'm going to be spending more time researching and developing a solution to a problem that doesn't exist in the first place. I'm going to be using a language called Python to auto-click for you in Cookie Clicker so you don't have to develop carpal tunnel syndrome. Python is known for its simple syntax, its compatibility, and its ability to handle really diverse tasks. It's beloved by a lot of programmers, and because of that, people have developed a lot of add-ons over the years that makes pretty much everything easier to program. Python is a scripting language, meaning the computer doesn't check or build a program before it runs. It simply runs your file line by line. This has some pretty awful consequences, but a lot of its downsides are mitigated by an IDE, or an integrated development environment, which checks everything and gives you errors while you're writing your program. I'm going to be using an IDE called PyCharm. Python is also considered to be a high-level programming language, meaning you don't have to deal with a lot of low-level interactions in the computer itself. I mentioned that a lot of users write add-ons and libraries of tools to use, which make the language feasible in a lot of different ways. This is one of the ways that Python is high-level. If you know where to look, your code can be super simple and you won't have to worry about actually knowing how to program. A lot of programming is actually just Googling. Our ultimate goal is to create an auto clicker for Cookie Clicker, right? So if we just look up how to double click in Python, we're going to come across the library that we're actually going to use here. So if you read into this more, you'll see that this is completely made by someone else. This doesn't come with Python itself, but you can download this and you can use different commands to control your mouse movements. So over on this section of the website, you can see it explains how the coordinate system on a monitor works. So the X increases kind of like how a standard coordinate system works, but the Y increases starting from the bottom left corner down. This website also gives a bunch of different tutorials on how to actually use this library called PyAutoGUI. So you can see it has a ton of commands to move your mouse. We're going to have to use the command move to, which is going to move our mouse to a specific coordinate on our monitor. And we're also going to have to use the command click, which is going to click your mouse. So the whole idea to create an auto clicker is to have your mouse start anywhere on the screen and you're going to hit enter. And then your mouse is going to hover over the cookie and then it's just going to keep clicking for you. It's a pretty simple concept when you actually say it out loud, and it's also pretty simple when you write it in code. Before we start writing any code, we first need the X and Y position of the cookie. So in order to do this, we can just go back to the game. We can take a screenshot using print screen or some other method. So I just pressed function and print screen. We can open up something like Paint. You just simply copy and paste the image in. On the bottom left of your screen, you should be able to see what pixel it's at, right in this corner right here. So you're able to see that the cookie is at about 280, 460. So we can take all the data that we already gathered, and we could pretty much just copy and paste everything line by line until it works. So if we go back to the website, and we look at the instructions, we first have to import PyAutoGUI, which is the library that we're using. So this is going to let us is going to let us use all the library's different functions and commands, right? So if we scroll down, what we want to do first is move to a specific coordinate. All right. And we're going to edit that to what we had before, which was 260 and 480. So once we do that, we also want to use the command click. So we can do all this without actually understanding the intricacies of computers. You can pretty much Google anything in Python and there's going to be something for it. So we don't have to understand how anything communicates with the screen, for instance. We can just say move to and click, and this library lets us do that. So if we run this right now, this program's going to be run from line 1 to line 7 from top to bottom, and it's going to first import the library of functions that we're using, and then it's going to run these two separate commands. You might have noticed an issue with this already, and that's that PyAutoGUI only clicks the mouse once, and we want it to just keep clicking forever. So what we can do is we can do this special type of loop called a while loop. And a while loop will execute whatever's inside of it until this condition is. So to go over that again, the while loop has kind of its own scope. The while loop right now has PyAutoGUI click in its scope. And it'll keep looping and looping until this condition right here is false. But since it's never false, this loop will never break, and the program will be stuck in a continuous loop. A lot of people would call this bad programming, but it's 1 AM, and it does the bare minimum, so it's fine. If you're paying attention, you might have noticed that I physically started programming at around 10 PM, and it's been about 3 hours. The reason for this is because I got Wendy's 5 for 2 deal. It's pretty good. I got a spicy chicken sandwich and some nuggets to go with it. Something you might not have noticed, however, is that I'm really exhausted right now. Probably because I always keep my voice monotone. So let's see if this code actually works. So if we hit run, okay. Oh fuck. So I forgot to add a pause there before it starts moving the mouse and clicking. So what happened was I hit start and it automatically started running the program when I should have been in this tab already. So the solution is pretty simple. We're going to use another function called alert, which is just going to give us an alert on our screen that we have to press before it actually executes the rest of the code. So with that done, I can hit run, go to this tab, and now if we hit OK, we have an auto clicker. Thank God. This took a lot longer than I expected it to. So you can see the clicking is really going right now. Because we only reference the move the mouse function once, we can still move our mouse around. A really cool advantage of this is the fact that I can't exit this program without shutting off my computer, so I have to edit all this later. But you can also keep buying cursors and grandmas. Okay, I'm gonna go restart my computer. This really wasn't worth the effort at all. Don't try this. Hey, so this is a special tribute to one of my favorite teachers of all time, Mrs. Monitto. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. I hope you enjoy retirement.